Good morning, this is John. As I sat here in my truck crying, I've got to leave Florida where my children are. My daughter's 15 and my son's 20 with autism, but doesn't matter, they're my children. I left Florida about 10 years ago. Had a horrible time with her mother. Kept locking me up every time I turn around. So it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for my children. Even though I worked for a family business, it just wasn't good. I should have never left Florida, or at least I should have came back earlier somehow, some way. I was just totally scared to death about continually being locked up. And somehow I guess I should have worked through that somehow. I was just scared. But I should have been closer instead of following the company to Tennessee. It's done me no good financially. I mean, I make okay money, but I could have pretty much made the same money by now working for the garbage company or working for the cement company driving a cement truck. That's what I should have done. I just didn't do it. I don't know if I was just scared, if I was, scared of being locked up, scared of being, not being good enough, or to be able to keep some sort of other job. I've had this job for 24 years, even though financially I've went backwards because they just keep offering less and less, and they treat me like pure dirt anyway. My whole family always have treated me like dirt. I don't blame them. It's my fault for sticking around to be treated that way. None of us should stick around, whether it's our job or relationship, our friends, it's a relationship, to be treated disrespectfully and just horribly. So my heart goes out there to any of you that may feel that way. Please search your heart and search for other jobs, because you just don't deserve to be treated that way. And your children, if you have any, and you're away from them, deserve you to be a lot closer, because they need you, whether you're mom or dad, stepmom or dad. They need you in their life, and they need you as close as you can possibly be. I wonder now, 63, don't have anything. I guess I got 10,000 some stocks and bonds. I got 10,000 in crypto. That's nothing. And got a couple life insurance policies is the only thing really I could leave my kids. I'm torn, and I've been torn for 10 years about coming back and being here with my kids so I never have to make this drive again. And it's horrible. And I wish and pray that none of you have to make that drive, and I'm sure some of you do. It's just heartbreaking. It just takes your insides and turns them inside out. It's horrible. I think I'm going to somehow, if I make this move, I take about a $30,000 a year cut. And in one way, that doesn't bother me for myself. It bothers me for my children, and hoping that I can keep this expensive life insurance policies going. They're not a whole lot of money, but every time I got locked up, I would lose it, and then have to restart it again. And every time I restarted it, of course, I was just a little bit older, and believe me, that counts. And so now it's expensive, but I try to keep it up, and I'll live in the woods if I have to keep it up. I owe that to my kids. I feel like I will. But do I move? I've been asking God. I've been looking for a sign, anything, to tell me that that's the way to go to get here close to my kids. And even though I'll have less money and I won't be able to save as much money as I do now, and it's not a whole lot, but I still continue to save for my daughter and my son. I've got other daughters and another son, but they do well, and their mother is wealthy, and when her parents pass, which will be sometime soon, she'll be even more wealthy. So they're okay, and plus they got good lives now, and they take care of themselves. So I just worry about these two, and I just don't know what the hell to do. I hear nothing from God. I hear nothing from angels. I hear absolutely nothing to where I just sometimes curse God. I do. I just seen Smyrna Ready Mix truck going down the road now. Was that a sign? You wonder, what in the hell is a sign? What kind of sign are we looking for? Are we even looking for a sign? I mean, are we really going to receive some sort of writing in the sky, or a giant billboard in our face? I don't, or a word from God, or something in our sleep. I don't think we will. I think it's left up to us totally. Everything that goes on in our lives, I don't think there's any help. Do I believe in some sort of divine intervention? Yes. Call it coincidence. Call it luck. Call it what you have to call it to believe in it. I think this choice that I'm looking for to be made for me, I think it's all up to me, and I think it always has been. Which that's very regretful. I wasted 10 years of being real close to my kids and seeing them. Or if I'd have made the move already, would I have been locked up and again and again and again, and or not be able to pay for something? I don't know. I guess we don't know. So it's up to us to make a hard choice a lot of times, and we've got to do it. We've got to set our minds to take that new job, to move where we need to move, or where we think we need to move. And if we made the right choice, if we move jobs or move areas, we may not know that we made the right choice or the wrong choice until we make the move. And that's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? And the older you get, the harder that pill is, and the bigger that pill is to swallow. Because I can't afford to be wrong. My children can't afford for me to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong anymore. For myself and for my children. The only damn thing that I can do is believe in God. That's our only way out. I mean, we're all going to die. But that's our only way of salvation. If that is true, I want to believe, I am believing that is true. I'm believing that there is some sort of power, call it God, and that Jesus Christ walked this earth one time and was the Son of God and died, in 3 days arose, and he was here in God's image to save us from our sins. That's a lot to believe. That's one of the biggest, that would be the biggest lie ever told if that wasn't true. I'm telling you this because I believe, and I have struggles with believing. I'm not a perfect person. I have struggles believing this since I hear nothing. I see nothing. I see miracles. I see, call it coincidence. I see things that look supernatural. Is it? I know the only way supposedly that when I die, I can be saved and be resurrected, or at least live in the kingdom of heaven, whatever that may be, in a nice, perfect spot, other than burn in some sort of fiery brimstone hell. I like that choice better than just being dead. So why not believe in it? Why not believe in something that gives you everlasting peace? I'll tell you a story another time. I may have told it, I don't know. I'm just having struggles today, and I keep having them every time I visit my kids and leave. It just kills me. It just absolutely tears me apart. Here we go.
At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to stumble. Such things must come, but woe to the person through whom they come. If your hand or foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life maimed or crippled than to have 2 hands or 2 feet and be thrown into eternal fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into the fire of hell. See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven. What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep, and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he is happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish. If your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the 2 of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. But if they will not listen, take 1 or 2 others along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Again, truly I tell you, that if 2 of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, "Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Jesus answered, "I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Since he was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. At this, the servant fell on his knees before him. 'Be patient with me,' he begged, 'and I will pay back everything.' The servant's master took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. But when that servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver coins. He grabbed him and began to choke him. 'Pay back what you owe me,' he demanded. His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him, "Be patient with me, and I will pay it back." But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called the servant in. "You wicked servant," he said, "I canceled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you?" In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay back all he owed. This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you, unless you forgive your brother or sister from your heart.